Hello everyone. This is my video for the one of the topic AI assisted coding, and this is the series of videos and how AI is assisting for the coding and how you can work or how you can code without any programming language. You don't know programming language also you can write programs, but the problem is that you should know what is the logic and what is the exact input and what are the exact outputs. Again, you have to use some ethical concern that uh, when you're developing the program, the concepts, what you're thinking, that may be differ from the generated code. Another is that the program should not hamper to any of the system or any of the people or any of the activities. So, myself, Dr. Sasank Sekhar Gontait, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science and AI, SR University, Warangal, India. And I am starting from this slide or this video, the AI start coding, the concepts and tools. So, what are the concepts are there and what are the tools are you are using and how these tools are useful to develop the codes. Then, what is the AI start coding cycle? The AI start coding cycle is that uh, generally the codes are generated by the based on the predictions, based on your input, based on your natural language interface, based on the requirements, and also based on your type of data. And this is generally the codes are generated based on some algorithm. Nowadays are using the LLM, the large language model, and this will generate what are the code required, and it will collect the data from the different sources, different context, and identify what is your requirement, and based on that the code will be generated. And generally the codes are generally in the text format, and you can also modify after that in the different formats, or you can transfer to different language, or maybe modify any structure of the program at any time. So in the life cycle, you have to describe the tasks, you have to describe what are the need in your natural language. For example, uh, use the addition property to write a Python program for the multiplication. Then it generates a code based on the your addition property for the multiplications, and also give the different formats for the printout, and also explain what are the code is there and what are the inside the code and what are the errors may be there, and if we execute the code you may get the output. So again we can also generate some test cases based on the particular program. Next is, after giving the task description, then code will be generated by the artificial intelligence AI, handled by different uh, scripts or different code generators like your VS Code or GitHub Copilot or Google Colab or Cursor AI or anti-gravity, any type of code generating tools are there. They are taking the natural language as the input and generate the code, then translate the code. Then if we required, suppose you initially generate a code in the Python, but requirement is for the Java or C. Then you can develop the code based on the particular language. That is, you can translate, like your translator from English to Germany or English to Hindi or Hindi to English or Hindi to Germany. In this way, you can translate the total entire code to different languages. Now, if you are satisfied with the code and you verified that the code is appropriate, then you go for the implementation. And then you use different inputs and verify the outputs. And if you are not satisfied, then you can give the task to the uh, program to tell that modify this particular concept and regenerate the code. Then the particular concept will be added to your original or previously developed code. Again, it will be generate a new code. Again, the same process will be continued. Now, what are the tasks? The tasks are the code documentation, code summarization, syntax correction, code search, and API suggestions. Then what is the code documentation automatically generate documents for the code. Sometimes you require the documents for the particular code. What are the variables? What is the structure of the uh, program? And what is the structure of the if condition, while condition, all things. What are the variables? What are the type of variables? And what is the output format? Everything you need. Then a document will be generated based on the particular code. Then summarization. Then summary is one of the important part of the code. If it is a big code, big program, then you cannot easily identify what is the use of the particular code. So at that time, you can uh, write or ask the AI or particular code generator to write the summary of the code. Then it will generate the total summary of the code. Again, syntax. Next one is the syntax correction. Here you write some code and ask the AI or the particular tool to identify the syntax, and if there is a syntax, then modify the syntax. Then it will generate the what is the syntax is available. Again, after that, it will remodify or regenerate your existing code where there may be less error or maybe totally corrected code. Then next is the code search. In this case, you can use the natural language, so that is your like your tasks, and to identify what is the code is available. For example, I will ask the AI tool um, find a binary search algorithm using C. Then it will identify what are the code is available based on the C for the binary search, and it will ask the permission to generate the code, or sometimes it may generate the code directly. API suggestion. Then sometimes your program is requiring some uh, uh, outside interpreters or some outside library files, and it is not available in your particular tool. Then it will ask and suggest that you need this type of library file or this type of uh, information or this type of library, or it may be some external source, and if available, it automatically install the particular library file. Next, what are the tasks? Next, already discussed this one. Now some other tasks are also there. These are the uh, code completion. That sometimes, what is the code completion? Suppose I am writing a for loop and you given the instruction that generate a factorial of n, and you start, after that you start for I is equal to 1 to n, or I colon 1 to n. Then you enter, press the enter. After that the code will be generated based on your initial instruction, and after that you compile and execute the code. Next task is the security tools. Then when you're writing a code, you know that there is a there are many security uh, holes are there in your program. That is, some variables may be used by the memory, may be hacked by the other programmers, or maybe input will be hamper your code, or output may be generating some uh, generating some different types of uh, problems to the hardware, or maybe interfacing or interfering with other programming languages. So your security tool, if you ask the AI tool identify the security issues in the above code, then it will identify what are the security issues are there in your code. Again, you go for the code review. Code review is the quality of the code, because nowadays quality of the code is important, because it should run without any executing. It will run without any errors. It may take any type of input and identify whether the output is available or not. So it will also filter out the unnecessary inputs. Then next is the optimization tools. What is optimization? The optimization is based on your memory and also the speed. Again, sometimes you are using the for loops, while loops, or everything. So in that case, the for loop may be containing a very lengthy else if statements, or maybe your for loop contains a different structure where some elements or some values are not used. Then when you ask the AI tool to optimize the particular code, already the code is generated based on the what is the type of performance that you have to mention there, time complexity or the space complexity, or maybe logical optimizations. Then the code will be regenerated based on your instruction. The other tools are, or other task is the debugging tools. So already discussed previously. So you can debug the code or the program, and you can fix the error by the AI automatically. Testing. Next is the important is testing nowadays. When you're developing any code, testing is also one of the parts. So you may use the different concept, like you can use the different testing tools in your AI tool, or you can also uh, ask the AI tool to identify what are the test cases are available for your code. So there are two types of test cases. One is give your programming concept and generate the test case. Then write the code based on the test cases. Second one is uh, first write the code, and after that tell the AI tool to generate the test cases for the above program. Then you get some test cases for the programs. So what is the merit and demerit? That when you are generating test cases before the program, then program will identify that what are the requirements are there for your code. Now if you generate the test case after the program, It will only execute based on your logic. It will not give any new type of test cases. So if you want to add some new test cases, then you have to generate the test cases and then rewrite the program. But there is a problem that your test cases may not be executed properly. Then code generation. In some times you require that I need some type of code. For example, I need to generate some class for a particular Java program or Python program. Then give the what is the task is required, what is the parameters required, what are the variables required for your class. Then tell the AI tool to generate the class for the given concepts. Then a class will be generated. After that, you can also write or give the instruction or give a task to the AI tool that generate the program based on the above classes. Then you get the same class will be implemented in the newly generated code. Then what is the code completion tools? So in the code completion tools, you find that this is the mapped as a brain because everything is analyzed by the models. So AI prediction, AI will predict what is the requirement for your tasks. Semantic analysis, the output, the meaning of the particular code. Then again, it will enhance the efficiency based on already told based on the loops or optimizing or space or time complexity. Again, it also analyze the syntax. Again, identify the errors and minimize the errors. Then there is a software, there is a tool is available that is called the Kite AI. In this Kite AI, it is a code completion tool where it will use the machine learning and handle the programming languages and handle all types of code completion tasks. So it will predict what based on your text what is the requirements, then identify the syntax, again analyze the semantics, then find the errors and minimize, then enhance the efficiency. Then what are the different debugging tools? One is the code completion tool is Kite, and next one is the debugging tool Rookout. So here, what is the debugging? What are the activities doing by the this Rookout AI tool? It will detect the errors. And one important point is when you are getting the errors, it is important to know that what is the actual the root cause of the error. So this tool will identify the root cause of the error so that everyone or every programmer can handle easily what are the problems are coming or identified based on the particular error and they can implement in the future programs. Then suggest fixes. So again it will suggest what are the fix is required. At that time you may accept, you may not accept. If are not satisfied with the error fixing, you can reject, regenerate again, and you find some new type of error fixing codes. And if are satisfied with the given error fixing code or error fixing information, then implement the fixes, that accept the fix. Then go for the optimizing the code. And it is a life cycle again. If there is maybe some errors due to the hardware failure or maybe memory issues or the time complexity issues or maybe library file issues, then again go for the error detection identify the root cause, suggest the implement fixes, and streamline the process. So it is a life cycle process. Then security. Security generally identified by the one of the AI tool that is called the sneak. So in the sneak, it will follow the one life cycle, that is scan code. It will identify what are the vulnerability in your code, that is the variables or the data, or maybe some loops, or maybe exception handlings, everything, anything is available for your code development. Identify where there is a vulnerability. Then again also identify what are the security flaws and risks are there for a particular type of error. Then provide recommendation. Again you have to give the suggestion for the particular type of security issues, and you have to accept or reject based on your knowledge, based on your logic. If it will be accepted, then issue will be rectified, and the fixes are done for the existing code. And after that again you check for the improvement in the security. So you can give the any type of task using natural language to identify the any security issues in your code. Again you get some output, that is the you may get some new type of security issues. Then you will continue the same process until there is no error, no security issues in your code. Testing tools. So testing tools are important to test your code, and it may be generated before the code or after the code. And sometimes you are also forgetting some test cases during execution. So you generate every type of test cases based on your logic or based on your required program. So the tool is test team, and it utilizes AI to author, execute, and maintain the test, and also speed of the release cycle. What is the release cycle? Now initially you got the version 1, then you apply the test case, any flaw or any drawback is there, then you modify in the version 2. If there is a minor modification, you can go to the version 1.1. If there is a major, then go to the version 2. So in this way you can get the new version for your code based on your different test cases results, and based on the different errors. So in the testing there are 5 steps are there. One is the automate testing. So if you give the input, you will start the testing the program, identify the errors, ensure reliability. Again, reliability and quality of the code is important. Then speed of release. Now you have to speed up. The release means I want to be going to version 1 to version 2. So every time you have to verify, write the code, and verify the errors, and also verify the input output is very tedious task. So the test team will identify all the input output errors, test cases, and fix the errors, so that a human being's work will be less. But you have to give or verify the logic of the code, whether it is correct or wrong. Then code review tools. So there are so many code review tools are there. So what here I am giving one of the example in the deep code. So function, AI state code review tool. What is the requirement function? Suggest improvements and optimization. But in a deep code, it provides insights and suggestions. That is internally identify what is the requirements of the particular function. Goal is maintaining the code quality. So our target is maintain the code quality. But in the deep code, it improves the code quality. So if it is generated by the AI also, you can also modify using the deep code. And then what is the method you are using? You are scrutinizing the code, again verifying what is the standard of the particular code. But in the deep code, it learns from the code repositories. What are the code repositories? There are some library files are available, GitHub is available, some other sources are available, Lee code is available. So from all the sources, identify what is the exact requirement for your code. Code generation tools. So in the code generation tools, the first one is the requirements. Define the software needs and specification. What is the requirement for your softwares? Then generate the code. Already discussed what is the same thing as previously. Then review the code. In the review the code, you have to review manually, not by any using any AI tools. After that, you go for the AI tools. After using AI tool also, you review the manual because there may be some errors in logical because the AI will not generate the correct logical codes. Maybe sometimes there is a mismatch of the logic flow. Then implement the code. Then you can, if you are handling the multiple codes, multiple functions generated, then you can combine to a single one. Then it will be easy to the AI tools. But in the manual, it is difficult to identify which function will come after which function and which variables are matching, which variables are not matching. What is the input to the function to the another input to the function, and in this way it will be continue. Then test code. Again, the test also automatically generated and verify the all the test cases. Iterate. Now, after getting the test case, now check whether the code is required to modify or not. If required modify, again regenerate the code. Again go for the test case. Again continue. The same cycle will be repeat until your code is not finalized. Then what is the code generation tool? One of the important is the generally are using in many developers are using the GitHub Copilot. Another is the VS Code Copilot. But here the GitHub Copilot is generally integrated with the VS Code, VS Studio Code. Then what is the functionality? Or AI paid programmer. So GitHub Copilot is an AI paid program. You are using the Copilot and also using GitHub repository. So you'll identify what is the code required based on your task. So again, it is using OpenAI's GPT-3. The GPT-3 model is used nowadays. GPT-4 is came for came. So nowadays you are using the GPT-4 and 5 to use the model. Multiple it handles the multiple programming languages. You can write in any language. Code generation is very simple, and you can also handle different uh, different codes. Then optimization tools. Optimization tool is Varnish software. So here the code analysis, the initial stage code analysis, and you get the enhanced software performance. So performance suggestion, you suggest the performance. Again, resource reduction, it reduce the number of variables, the loops, the for loops, while loops, if conditions. Again, all things will be reduced. And content delivery optimization. So when the generate the content, what is the content? Maybe description, maybe uh, proper output generation, everything it will be optimized. Next is what is the working mechanism? of an AI-assisted coding tool. The working mechanism is it uses the natural language processing (NLP), machine learning, data analysis, and other different AI techniques. That is, the different AI models or AI methods which are used for the developing the code. So, natural language processing, you have to enable the understanding and generating human language. Machine learning learns from the data to improve performance. Next is data analysis, extracts insight from data to inform decision. Other AI tools, different AI methods for the problem solving are implemented to generate the code. Now, in the NLP and ML, machine natural language processing and machine learning, what is the uses? What is the role of the NLP? NLP role is understanding or understand human language. So if you write in any English language, maybe partial English or complete sentence, it will understand what is your requirement. Function. Interpret the code comments. So it identify what is the requirement for the particular topic, particular tasks, and which code you have to generate. An example is GitHub Copilot's language understanding because you are giving the task using only the typing or using the voice, then code will be generated. Machine learning learns coding patterns because NLP ML both are combined to generate the code. In the machine learning, you will identify what is the coding pattern is there. For example, for after the for which pattern will come. If you are declaring the variable x is equal to 5, then what is the structure of the variable declaration? If we are writing the x comma y equal to 5, then what is the new type of structure is assigned? Or if you are writing y is equal to 10.5, so it is a new type of pattern, the decimal point is used. Or you are using s is equal to double quote abc and identify that this is a one type of structure required for your program. Similarly, if you are going for the print statement, print there is a pattern is there, left bracket, right bracket, and inside some structure is available. Then what is the function? The function of machine learning is train with coding dataset. So train, what is the pattern is already available. This pattern will be trained. For example, Java has a different pattern, C has a different pattern, Python has a different pattern, JavaScript has a different pattern. So all types of patterns are trained using the machine learning. So in a machine learning, it is implemented in the code generation in GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot language understanding, that is your typing, the chatbot, that is your natural language process. But in case of GitHub Copilot, code generation. So after giving the particular task, then it generates the entire code. Next is integrating the integrated development environment, IDs. So what are the different IDs are available? Visual Studio Code and GitHub Copilot. Then why it is required? ID integration seamlessly connects with coding environment. So I need some Python code. So if ID is available based on the Python, then it will easily generate the code. Real-time assistant provide immediate support during coding. If any error will be there, it will be identified. Then productivity enhancement boost developers efficiency, that will identify what is the requirement, what is the uh, exact requirement by the particular programmer or the developer. Then comprehensive support offers holistic development assistance. So easily you can write a big code within a few time or few less time. So in the less time can generate a big code. You can also go for testing. You can go for the verification of the input output. You can also deploy. You can go for the ethical issue identification. Everything within the few or in the less time you can generate entire code. Next is the continuous learning and adaptation. What is the continuous learning? The continuous learning is when you are writing a one code and if you are writing the second time the same type of code with some minor modification, it will already trained that the previous code has this type of structure and there is some errors in your program. Then next time when you are giving some or asking some task, then you will rectify what is the errors available in the previous code. Now suppose you are writing a program with the factorial of the number. Second one is you are written another program for the multiplication table. Third one you written a program to generate the sum of n numbers. Now the three different types of logics are trained by the by the model automatically identify what are the patterns are available in the three different programs. And when you're going to write a new program, for example, you have to write a program to generate uh, the multiplication of two prime numbers and add the individual digits of the two prime numbers. Then it will implement what is the logic. Multiplication is there already, multiplication is there, or addition is there. Again, you are going for the individual addition, so addition property will satisfy. Multiplying the two prime numbers, again multiplication is there. So what is the logic, what is the optimized logic implemented in the previous programs that will be implemented in the new code. So this is the in the second page, that is the refined predictions. So AI tools improve their prediction based on learned patterns. Already I told, based on the three different programs, will predict what is the best to the next programming language. Next is the adapt to users interaction. So every time the user is required to identify whether it is correct or wrong. That is your like your reinforced learning. So you can go one by one and identify what are the requirements are there. Then simply the iteration process will continue to develop the final code. Offers improved support. AI tools provide better assistance to the developers. So sometimes you don't know what is the logic to implement for a particular application. Then the AI assisted coding will help to identify what is the logic is required for your particular code or particular application. Now, another important point that when you're going for the implementing the different tools, they are only the learning from the every interaction. They not blindly do everything. And in the future also, what are the human intelligence is required, that also used in the software. Now, what is the different AI coding tools and generative AI model? There are so many tools are available. So one is the GitHub Copilot. Next is the Amazon Code Whisperer. Then Tab9, Replit Ghostwriter, CodeGeeks. So what is the GitHub Copilot? It is developed by the OpenAI, Codex, and GPT-4. Nowadays GPT-5 is used. Then Amazon Code Whisperer, then it is developed by the AWS, custom foundation model by AWS. Tab 9, it is a fine-tuned GPT model generally used for the test cases. Replete Ghostwriter, it generates the code. Uh, it generates the code, and it is its own code generator model is there. Code GX, it is the same as your GPT-4, but the model is same. Model is structure is same, but the model is different. That is, it generates the similar type of output like your GitHub Copilot, but its own model it is using. Then Polycoder, it is using the GPT-2 variant. Then next is the CodeGen, it is open source code model. Star Coder or Star Coder 2 is the Star Code LLM, open source, is same as all are the similar type of code generator code generating tools. Code Llama, it is another type of fine tuning large language model. Cursor, again it is a open source using the OpenAI and using also GPT-4. So everyone has a different type of structure and different type of interface and different types of concepts to generate the code. Next, benefits. Benefits is the there are so many benefits, only limited I have presented here. Increased productivity, faster code development, improved code quality, reduce error, automated documentation, quick bug detection. So these are the some common uh, benefits. Already we discussed previously how it will help the increase the productivity, how the code develop quick, and how the quality of the code also improve, how to identify the error and rectify the errors, and how to generate the documentation or uh, how, and why the documentation is important for the code. Then again, error identification, different types of errors like your vulnerability or security issues or the logical error or any input or output errors, everything it will be rectified. Other benefits are the efficient refactoring. So it will automatically refactor your code, that is rewrite your code. For any developers, you don't know maybe basic knowledge also, or you have the some little bit programming language, you can also write the code. Faster learning, because it is using the different tools. So it handle the AI tools, take the different uh, APIs, application program interfaces, that is the library files or the different tools to generate the code. So once it is integrated properly, then it will generate the code quickly. Other is the language support. So it is supporting a multiple languages, multiple variety of languages. We may hybrid the different languages also to execute the code, or that is called the cross compilers. Then collaboration, you can also collaborate using the AI tools. Multiple users, multiple developers can um, develop the code of the same time. Next, next is the time saving. Then what is the challenges? Challenge is the contextual understanding. So what is it giving to the code? What is the natural language? That should be properly informed or properly written. Quality assurance, code quality assurance. Sometimes you are not getting the proper outputs. Next, develop over reliance. That is, you cannot always depend on the AI tools. You have to also verify the code, or initially write the code and verify by the AI so that your code is correct or wrong. If AI develop also, you can verify whether the logic and outputs are properly generating or not. Security and privacy, but sometimes it also hide the what is the some security issues or some because it is the AI tool. So many times not identify properly what are the vulnerability in the code. Bias and reliability. Sometimes you get the inconsistent outputs. Your input may be correct, but output is not correct. Or sometimes you give the some garbage output based on the correct input. Limitations. So nowadays we are using the AI tools to generate the code, but it is not fully autonomous. Now after developing the AI agents, now it is coming under the full autonomy. Ethical and legal concerns. So human ethical judgment is required when developing the code because different languages are using different variables are using different structure using, so you cannot do anything. Inaccurate prediction. Sometimes you get the inaccurate outputs. And tool specific. Some tools will generate different types of different codes. So you cannot rely on the single tool. Coursera develop generate one type of code, GitHub Copilot another type of code, Anti-Gravity another type of code, Google Colab another type of code. So everyone developing their own style code. So you cannot rely on that my cursor AI code is correct. If you put the cursor AI code in the GitHub, it may show the error. So what are the tools are there? The GitHub Copilot came in 2021, Chat GPT Codex 2026, Cloud Echo 2024, Google Anti-Gravity 2025. That are general AI coding assistants and popular. Next is AI native IDs, Cursor ID 2022, Wind Sharp 2024. The next is enterprise or large code based tools, Source Graph Code 2023 and Tab9 2018. Others are specialized or emerging AI coding tools, Vercel V0 20 came in 2023, Replit Ghostwriter 2022, Amazon Code Whisperer 2022 is based on the AWS. Open source or developed focus tools are the Continue 2023, Codium 2021. Others are VS Code came in 2013 and you can integrate all codes in the VS Code also. So this is the AI coding environment. So you get the AI coding environment, Visual Studio Code, Code ID and platform, GitHub Copilot, Codium, Tab9, Continue, all are the part of the VS Code. All are the APIs. So when required a particular code, they will identify which API is required for your code. So this is the lecture 1 or the video 1 of the series. Next time we'll go for the how to write the different tasks to the AI tools. That is called the prompt engineering. So we'll study the next level is the prompt engineering. How to develop the prompt engineering, how to write the prompt engineering, or how to write the prompts, and how to implement in the codes.